Welcome to Dave's Cooking Show, and for you today, we're going to make a buttermilk coffee cake. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to need 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter. I'm using salted butter, so the salt that they would normally tell you to add, don't add. If you're using unsalted butter, then you're going to want to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. And then you want to add about a cup of sugar. Get on your paddle attachment for your mixer, and you want to proceed to cream these together. And then you want to add 2 eggs, 1 at a time, while mixing on a low speed. And just before you start adding the flour, add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. But now it's time to add the dry ingredients, which is a mix of 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and again, the aforementioned salt if you're using unsalted butter. If you're using salted butter, then skip that step. And then you're going to want to also alternate into this about a cup of buttermilk. And then you just want to keep going in alternate layers, flour, milk, just make sure you end on the flour. And then you're just going to want to keep mixing it around until you get a batter formed. By the way, this would be a good time to preheat the oven to 325 degrees. Something like this is what you're going for. Now, you can either line the baking dish with parchment paper or do that whole non-stick spray shit. So, about this consistency is what you're looking for. I'm going to give it just a little bit more time in the mixer. And then you just want to spoon this into a parchment-lined baking sheet. Again, you can either do parchment paper or you can just use the non-stick spray. It is up to you. If I had to do this over again, I just would have got the goddamn Pam out. And then you just want to spread this out. And reality, this will bake for 35 to 45 minutes. Use the toothpick or the knife test. Again, put it in the center. If it comes up clear, your cake is good to go. And then you want to let it cool for about 20 minutes. All right, now let's get on to making the topping while this chills out in the oven. Okay, and the topping is really very simple for this. It's 1/3 cup of white sugar, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then off to the sides you want to add about a cup of walnuts that are roughly chopped up. We're not going to add them into here. And of course, I forgot to add the cinnamon while I was filming it. I did it off camera. And then you just want to mix this around till the sugars and everything is incorporated. All right, on to the next step. Okay, and right when the cake comes out of the oven, well, it's still hot because you do need it to kind of melt the sugar a little bit. You want to start adding that cup of walnuts. Be careful not to burn yourself. And then you want to dust the ever-loving shit out of your cake. Be extremely generous. Should look something a little bit like this when you're done. And again, now we just want to let this cool down so it doesn't burn the hell out of our mouths. And that's really it. Nice little piece of cake to go along with some coffee. So that's buttermilk coffee cake. Done.